see the screen with the slides on it, and we're just going to talk you through. If you've got any questions, pop them in the chat, I guess, and then we'll have a look at the end and answer whatever is there. Okay, so this is just a script, just showing you who the team is. So we've got Mrs. Averson here, who's Panthers. So she knows a lot of the children well because she was the teaching assistant with some of them with me last year in year 3, and she's working with Mrs. Stokes, who is the photo just underneath her on the left there. Then we've got Mr. Roberts, who's in Leopards with Mrs. Mortimer, and then I've come up from year 3 to year 4 to teach Jaguars, and I've got Miss Harrod, so that's us sort of in the middle underneath Mr. Roberts there. And then Mrs. Miller is our HLTA, and she's going to be working across all 3 classes. So this is just the structure of how our day kind of works. So 8:35 we open the doors and they can come in. They have early morning work, which might be arithmetic. We do times table rock stars in the mornings as well. It might be finishing off. Then we start maths at about 9 o'clock, do an hour of maths, then whole class reading. Then we have assemblies on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If we're not doing assemblies, Tuesdays we mark homework, or we might read a class novel. Then playtime, same time as last year, 10:50. Then we're doing English after play this year. So we've got SPAG first, which will set them up for their homework. And then we do the English lesson. Then lunch is 12:15 to 1:15. Sounds right in year 4, that's our phonics. We do, so spelling, we do 3 times a week. That's a possible slot for it. We're going to start that next week or the week after. It might be in the morning, but it will just be like a sort of 10-minute slot somewhere. Then we do the foundation subjects in the afternoon, and then, as you know, we finish at 3:15.
Right, so our curriculum that we're covering in year 4, we've got the English and maths. So English covers reading, phonics, writing and SPAG, and maths where we use our White Rose scheme. We've got science, PE twice a week, PSHE. We've got art, computing, DT, French, geography, history, music and RE. So those foundation subjects we teach in the afternoon. We've got a fabulous new music curriculum that we're doing across the school. So we've all been doing drumming this week, which was great fun.
And much to the dislike of people downstairs.
Yes,
we had a great time, yeah.
Making lots of noise. So yeah, so those are all the things that we'll cover in a week. So there's an awful lot to get through, but there's a real variety there to get the children engaged.
As you should all know by now, it's the same as last year. For most of our humanities lessons, we use the Opening World scheme, which is fabulously knowledge rich. So we go into a lot of detail about a lot of what we talk about. And they can be quite long and heavy lessons, but we've seen the children get a lot of benefit out of it because they're really able to kind of interact with their knowledge, practice it, rehearse it, and apply it to their learning. And this is what we learn across all of our topics. So we spend most of the year in history looking at Romans, and then we move on to Arabia and early Islam in the summer term. Geography, we're currently doing the Rhine and the Mediterranean. And we look at that from a human geography point of view. We stick with human geography as we go through population, and then we go through physical when we go to coastal processes and landforms. We spend a lot of time looking at coasts. Back to human geography for tourism, and then we finish on 2 physical bits of geography with earthquakes and deserts. And in RE last year, all the kids spent most of the time learning a lot about Judaism and Hinduism. But the learning they've done for Judaism, we build on this term as we turn our attention to Christianity for almost the whole year. And then once we get to summer 2, we move on to learning, introducing a bit of Islam, and that's what they'll start to cover in year 5 as well.
It all builds on what they've learned in year 3 as well, which I mean, it's really interesting for us because we've obviously taught the year 3 curriculum, and already having only taught 1 or 2 lessons, we're seeing sort of links and things, remember when we did this in year 3 and building on it. So it's really, really
amazing what they can recall and bring into these lessons as well.
And to support this, we are going to aim to have a number of educational visits or spark days. These usually complement our learning in some form. Now, what we've done the past few years and what we're aiming to do this year as well, we'll try and get the Globe Theatre to come in and run a workshop in the school when we move towards Julius Caesar, which is something we work on in Autumn 2 in English. That really helps bring the play alive for the children. We sometimes get Chertsey Museum in. They have a load of Roman resources, many of which were found in the local area, so really connect children to where they've what's around them locally. And either they will come in for a visit or they give out loan boxes, so it's just a way to bring our learning alive. We've got the residential, which Year 4 is famous for, and many of the children are already very excited about. We'll have an information evening on that at a later date. And we also have a trip to Ufton Court, which is a history centre, and we are hoping to reenact the battles of Boudicca and stuff, which we'll have covered in history. I haven't told you about that, actually. It's great. And one more skim in the waiting room. And then in the summer term, we move on to the digestive system. We'll organise something to complement that as well. So this is what we're aiming to give the children, to give them a fully rounded experience of what we've done in lessons as well.
So assessment, we teacher assess the subjects at the end of every term, which means that they don't necessarily sit an exam or a test. We do end of unit tests in maths, which help inform our teacher assessment. And every term we do a GL assessment in maths and reading, again, which helps to inform our teacher assessment. But it's exactly the same as last year. It's not anything different or stressful, or there's no SATs or anything like that. So the one thing we do have in Year 4 that's different is the times table check. So it's like an electronic test where they have to answer 25 times table questions from all of the times tables, which is why we've got a big push on times tables this year. As long as they're doing times table rock stars, that's really, really important this year, because it's kind of set out in a similar way to the check. So if they're doing it on times table rock stars, when they do the times table check, it's not a million miles away. Maths Frame, which is on the slide, is another website you can go to, which we're not using in school at the moment. We might
not yet. We'll introduce that. We'll introduce that ideally probably before half term, and then it's really useful for us because Times Tables Rockstars is great because it gets them hooked on practicing it. They find it really motivational. And really enjoyable as well, and it gives us some good data with how we can with what we need to practice in school. Maths Frame is not all of what you do on TT Rockstars is timed in the same way as the multiplication times tables check, because in the assessment in the summer they have 5 seconds to answer each question. That sounds like a tiny amount of time. We will do lots of practice between now and then to get them ready for it. TT Rockstars has some modes where it will replicate that. It has some modes where it doesn't. Maths Frame, you can basically simulate the test exactly. So we'll use that in school, and in fact we should probably send out a link at home.
Yeah.
So if you wish to practice at home and support this, then that would be great, because yes, we will practice it in school, but you continuing to rehearse it at home with your child or give them the opportunity to keep practicing is really useful and puts them on the best footing to do as well as they can in their assessment.
Their times table rockstars login is in their reading record, so they can log into that from home whenever, and we're doing it a couple of times a week in school as well. On the Chromebooks. And the main thing is we don't want them to be stressed out about this.
Yes.
We will practice as much as we can in school, and just as long as they do their best, then that's absolutely fine. We don't want them stressing about it.
Yeah. We will communicate with you about this as well at a later date. We'll send out a letter, and if you've got any questions, you're more than welcome to come and find any of us, and we will do our best to answer them as best we can.
It's not till the summer term.
It's not till the summer term, yeah. It's not till just the second half of the summer term as well.
So it's right at the end, so we've got plenty of time. So PPA time, all teachers get a certain amount of time for planning, preparation and assessment, or PPA. So ours is on a Tuesday afternoon. So we've got 3 classes to cover, so it's going to be slightly different each term. So one class is doing Forest Schools with Mrs. Coleman and, well, it's Mrs. Dodds at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be Mrs. Coleman, but she's broken her leg.
Yep.
So it may be Mrs. Coleman at some point. But so leopards are going first, and then we'll communicate with you who is doing spring term and who is doing summer. So it will be jaguars one term and panthers the other term as well. So they'll all get one term of that. And they have to bring in like old clothes, don't they, and waterproof, because they go out in all weathers. It doesn't get rained off forest schools.
No, you are out there whatever the weather. So
maybe we'll go do summer term.
You're out there whatever the weather. So yes, long sleeves and trousers are ideal because they're wandering around the woods, and although we've done our best to clear things out as much as possible, there is still the occasional branch or bramble in there. And given we're out there all weathers, waterproof trousers and waterproof coats are coats especially as we get to as the weather starts to turn and we get wetter and colder.
And in the summer,
really
sun cream and
sun cream.
The opposites. But we'll communicate. So leopards have already had their communication. They're all up and running with that.
Yep.
So whichever class is going next, you'll get an email with all the details on for that, but that will be a Tuesday afternoon. Now, the two classes that aren't doing forest schools are doing PE with Mrs. O'Sullivan, she's a bit of a PE expert, so that's really good. And Mrs. Gibbons at the moment is doing French with them. When she goes on maternity leave, which is in a couple of weeks, it will be Mrs. Askew that's doing French with them. Mrs. Collins also is covering my class a lot because I'm a middle leader. I get time every other week. So Tuesday mornings, Mrs. Collins is in Jaguars, and then Wednesday mornings for an hour, she's covering me because I'm mentoring some ECTs, early career teachers. Yep. So homework, again, same as last year. So job number 1, super, super important, daily reading. Now, year 4, great if they will read with you. They can read on their own as well. That's absolutely fine. But it's so, so, so super important that they read regularly because, I mean, you know by now, reading just opens doors to everything. Most of them, I have to say, in my class have got a love of reading, which is great. For those that don't, we need to try and instill that in them. I say to them, it's not that you don't like reading, just haven't found the right book yet. So we're sharing lots of books with them and things like that. So we do whole class reading every day, 4 times a week, developing their comprehension. They'll be reading with adults in school as well. If they're finding it tricky, then we will read with them more because it's the only way to develop it is to practice it. So that needs to be sort of mirrored at home as well. They've got the reading records, same as last year. They need to write in them every day. So we are sending home a colour code book, which is on their level, and they can change that as often as they like. But I mean, as long as they're reading it, anything is fine. If they've got books at home that are interesting, that interest them, then they can write that in. It's just getting into that routine that they have to do at least 5 minutes every night, write it in, and then they hand their reading records in every day. And then we check. It says on there we expect a parent to sign daily. We're
happy if they're signing it as well.
They can, as long as it's written in, that's fine. And in the morning, and if they forget to do it, I always say to them, have you read? Yes. Okay, write it in your reading record. So it's that kind of getting into that routine, kind of ready for secondary school when they have to do this sort of thing. So if you could support us with the reading, that would be amazing. Just make sure they're reading it, they've got their reading record in every day, would be great. The other homework we do is they have the SPAG book and the
maths book,
the times tables practice book as well. So it's the same as last year. We'll give the books on a Wednesday and it's due in the following Monday, and then we mark it on the Tuesday. So if they forget it on the Monday, we can say, please remember your homework tomorrow, because we spend some time in class going over the homework. So then if there's anything they haven't understood, we can help them with it then as a class. So those will go home every Wednesday, marked on a Tuesday. I forgot what I was going to say about that now. Oh, there's a timetable. So the maths we do work through from the first chapter through in order, but the SPAG does not necessarily work through in that order. So in the mine's in the SPAG book. Is yours in the SPAG book?
I can't remember.
In the front of one of the books, there will be a timetable, and that shows you that it will have the date it's handed out, and it will have which page of the maths and which page of the spag. So if you could just remind them to double check that. I've said to my class as well, if you open your spag book to a page and you've never, whatever's on there, you've never seen it before in your life, then you're on the wrong page.
Yeah.
Because we're introducing it in English and doing a little bit, so they've at least heard the terms and had a bit of a practice in school.
And if they lose the timetable, please do let us know as soon as possible.
I've encouraged them to tick it off as they go
Yeah,
as well,
yes,
so then you can keep it in line of where you are.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And this week we turned over the pages for the next week so that they definitely do the right pages.
Okay.
Well, year 3, it's a problem all the way through the year. They just do the wrong page. Anyway, it's fine as long as they've, done it, and then we go through it in the lesson anyway, so they will get that input.
Lovely. If I can just jump back, please correct me if I'm wrong here, but if I can jump back to reading as well. This is not to replace your child doing the reading, but please also, even though they are year 4, don't underestimate the importance of you reading to your child as well.
Absolutely.
Especially if it's something that you find tricky, because it's really important that they get the option to see other adults, especially the ones that they're closest to, you guys. Actually getting into a book, reading a book, and reading a book to them, and if they find it difficult, practicing at giving it a go. It's super important in building their enthusiasm. That's not to replace them doing the reading as well, but any opportunity you get to read with your child, please grab it with both hands. It's super important.
I know as they get older, they get less tolerant of you reading to them, but hopefully year 4, they will still take that.
Yeah.
So expectations, attendance, it's so important for children to be in school. So please ensure that they're arriving on time each day. The doors open from 8:35, they close at 8:45. So if you can get them in that 10-minute slot, that's absolutely fantastic, because we start learning straight away. There's morning work on the board. As soon as they're in, they get going. Attendance, as it said, is expected to be higher than 96%. We all understand that children get ill, but if you can get them in, that's fabulous. If there's ever any problem, you can speak to us on the door, and of course we can phone you if there is an issue. But if you can get them in, try and get them in, please. Uniform, we've had letters out about uniform. Ensure all the school uniform is in line with the Groveland's letter that would have come out from Mr. Tuck. So if you can check that, if you need any more information on that, you can always talk to us about it. But the list, I think, is on the website, and a letter came out. So if you can please ensure your child has the correct uniform. PE kit, so their days we've got listed here. We've got Panthers a Tuesday, Friday, Leopards have got Forest School, and then PE on a Friday, and Jaguars a Tuesday, Thursday. Please ensure that on those days they're coming in their PE kit. So yeah, any questions, please come and ask us about any of that. And the values, we display the values all day long. They're displayed in our classroom. We encourage the children to show those values. We reward those values with values tokens. So they are kindness, respect, friendship, uniqueness, trust, and determination. We talk about them in assemblies, and we try to encourage the children at all times to display those values. So if you can discuss them with your children, that's really helpful as well. Or ask them what they are, and they can tell you. That would be great. So as it says here, they are rewarded not just by their class teachers, by the TAs, by other members of staff. If we see children displaying those values in the corridor at playtime, then they will get values tokens and get rewarded for that.
And we focus on one every half term as well. So we're doing kindness at the moment. So they do a little activity on it, and there'll be a display in the entrance hall, and then that's the one that we promote for the first half term.
And each class at the beginning of term, we've all created a set of promises for our class on how we're going to show these values, and we've all signed it so that we're all on the same board, and we can share those with each other.
Fabulous. And there's the behaviour system we talked about, isn't it? Yeah, with these tokens. And they contribute to, they're essentially like house points, aren't they? And they go to the house,
and then it goes to a whole school system, so they count up how many each house has got. And then I think that house gets some kind of reward, and then sports day contributes to that as well. So when we have sports day, they compete in their houses. So they have their coloured shirt. They come in a coloured t-shirt, don't they? And that all contributes as well. We're doing raffle tickets as well in year.
Yes, as are we.
So if they get a values token, they get a raffle ticket and go into a raffle, and then we pick some out on a Friday, and there's like a prize box, and they have some little prizes, which is, I have to say, they're motivating them no end at the moment.
Anything for an amusing rubber.
A novelty pen.
Exactly, yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so if your children are worried about anything, we really do encourage them to speak out. So we try and be as approachable as we can with them, encourage them to talk to a member of staff about a worry, talking to you guys, obviously, and then if they don't want to speak to us, then if you can sort of relay that to us if it's something that we need to be aware of, or write a little note. So we've all got what I wish my teacher knew boxes in our rooms where there's little slips of paper. So if they want to tell us something but don't actually want to say it face to face, they can write it down on a piece of paper and put it in the box. So we check those regularly. And then I've said to mine, if you put your name on it, but if you want me to speak to you about it, pop your name on it, and then we'll take them aside and have a little chat about that. Yeah, so we did practice that in the first week. Concerns that you've got, if there's anything that you're not sure about, you're worried about, or something's happened, first port of call is the class teacher, which is us. And we will always meet with you, so you make contact with us right either on the door if you can catch us on the door, which is much more difficult when we're upstairs.
Yes, it is an issue.
I'm finding that really hard.
Yes, you may have to be a little bit patient with us because obviously we can't be in two places at once, and we need to make sure that there's someone upstairs to supervise the children before we can come down and speak to you. So we will do our best to get to you, and we will come as quickly as we can, but you might need to give us a minute to get there.
Yeah. I tend to go, I'm there at 8:35 and then bring in the first lot of children, and then they sort of stand and wait with me, and then we all go upstairs together.
Yeah.
So if you do need to catch us, I'd say just be there at 8:35. That's probably the best time. Or
Yes.
after school if we're dismissing, as long as it's not a
Yeah.
Tuesday when we're not in class in the afternoon. But if you can't do that, then you just email the info at Groveland's account, and then that will be forwarded to us, and then we can either catch you or phone you or email, like send you an email back. So that's fine. But if you do that and you speak to the class teacher and you still feel like it's not resolved and you need some more help resolving that, then you go to the phase leader, which is me. So that's these guys. If you're not happy with what they've done, come to me. Then if you're not happy with the phase, or if it doesn't get resolved with the phase leader, with me, then that's when you go to the senior leadership team. So that's Mr. Tuck, Mrs. Coleman, any of those guys who are they are on the playground in the morning, and you can contact them in the same way as us through the info account. Just mark it for the attention of and whoever you want it to go to.
Lovely. Oh, and we, yes, you can come and catch us anytime, but we will also have our parents' evenings in the autumn term and the spring term. And we'll communicate with you in advance about when exactly those dates are going to be. Parents of children on our SEM radar will also be invited to a pupil passport meeting every term to specifically talk about their targets and progress. And again, we'll tell you in advance when that's coming up. Anything else?
Don't think so.
Cool. Oh.
Now, class reps, we had class reps in year 3 last year, but obviously the classes have all been mixed up now.
Yeah.
So we don't know if those class reps still stand.
Yes.
But if you're interested in being a class rep, you just need to speak to a member of Frogs, who I'm sure they will make themselves known to you.
Yes.
There's a Facebook group for Frogs as well.
Yeah.
There is.
And down at the bottom here, please contact Frogs by email if you're interested. frogs@grovelands.surrey.sch.uk, or speak to the school office, and they can be able to send you in the right direction of people who are involved.
Yeah. So if you want to be involved with any of that, which is amazing. I mean, they do so much fundraising for us.
And we are very grateful for it.
Really grateful. Then that's how you do it. And we will make contact with Frogs to see if we can find out who the class reps are now that the classes have all been mixed up. Hopefully they're not.
Or by all means, come and tell us. Yeah.
If you were a class rep, come and tell us.
Yeah. Wonderful. Right. Hope that all made sense. Are there any questions? Please pop them in the chat, and we will do our best to answer them. When do you send out details about the Year 4 residential? Mrs. Dumpleton will be sending out a letter, hopefully in the next couple of days. She wanted to send it out because we normally have an information evening, essentially another one of these, but we'll talk about the residential specifically, and we can walk you through what it normally looks like, what we normally get up to, what time things normally happen, what you might need to bring, and you can make the decision on whether your child is going or not.
That I think it's going to be in October sometime, isn't it?
Yes, it's looking like it'll be in October, which is actually in a couple of weeks away, isn't it? But yes, so
we'll tell you well in advance.
Yeah.
Like the residential isn't until, is it May?
May.
Yeah.
So the meeting will be in October. So we'll tell you well in advance, and then you can make that decision. Hopefully they'll all come, because that would be amazing.
Yeah. Equally, if you want to get a little bit ahead, if you Google PGL Marchants Hill, you can have a look about the on their website and what they provide, and they've got like example kit lists and stuff on there. If you want to start having the conversation with your child about what they might need, where they might be going, if they're a little bit nervous or really excited about it, they might want to look it up in advance.
Yeah. And it shows you all the activities they do, don't
It does, yes. We don't get to do all of them, but when we talk to you about that with our information evening, we can show you what they got up to last year or the year before. We can show you an example timetable. Yeah. You two haven't been before, have you?
No.
I've been before, so you're welcome to come and find me at pickup or something. If you've got a particular question, I can do my best to answer it as well. I'm happy with that. How long is the residential for? It is 3 days and 2 nights.
And we will be there.
Yeah, we'll be there as well. Sorry.
We're all going. We'll all be there. So lots of familiar faces.
Yes.
To look after them.
Any other questions? Please pop them in.
Is that everything?
Is that everything? Fabulous. Cool. We will hang around for a minute in case you've got any more, but hopefully we've given you a good introduction to year 4, answered all your questions. Yes, and if you have anything else, then you are welcome to come and catch us on the door in the morning or at pickup, drop us an email or something like that, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. All good?
Lovely.
Lovely. Right.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming. Have a lovely day, and we will stop it there. Cool. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Right, we're still getting, aren't we? Any other questions, or is everyone going to disappear?
There's quite a lot of people on, isn't
there? There's a lot of people on.
Who was it, year 2 said they only had 11?
There is a lot, yeah.
Cool. All right, we can end it.